The market's really changed the thought process of the product. I mean, I think most people thought of it more as trailers or something like that, of that mold. But in these days, it's migrated into hotels. It's migrated into luxury housing. I mean, not just going on the modular side and ADU side. We're talking about now where people, instead of doing a stick-built home, they're building $1 million, $2 million homes that are manufactured at the factory.
Nice.
And they want to make it modular. What's really exciting is that we're definitely, Zach probably agree to this, we're limited on skilled labor these days. It's very difficult for us to find skilled labor. So to even find someone to do the job properly is very difficult. So now with modular building and prefabs, we're finding large companies jumping on the bandwagon. The Amazons, the Marriott's. Marriott has committed to over 10% of their new hotels to be built modular. So you're talking about stackable boxes within a factory being built, and now they're shaving off a year, 2 years, 3 years build time. They're able to get the profit down. You have places like Sacramento who already have hotels that are already built modular style. So it's exciting to see, to be able to build these in the factory and not have to rely so heavily on skilled labor, cut down the period of time, and in some cases actually the type of material that we build, the product itself is better than stick built. I mean, we use kiln dried wood.
What's kiln dried? What is that?
Oh, well, it's wood that's already pre-treated and designed to handle wet weather.
Oh,
it's actually it's already pre-treated, so it's actually better than stick built. Imagine you building the stick built home. How many times it's going to rain within a year to 2 years, and manufactured homes already done, and on top of that, it's already built within a factory inside. So you don't have to worry about any of the elements affecting the build. So it's fantastic that, hey, if it's a larger build like a hotel,
sure,
or a lot of modules where it's a large luxury home where they can be as large as 2,000, 3,000 square feet, where you don't have to worry about the elements hitting it. It's going to be a better quality, and you're going to have a consistent product. They order from the same distributors, the same suppliers. So if you run out of material, you're not getting a different type of material. They're ordering it in huge bulk. So
sure,
they're able to put the same product out there, consistent, and now you're going to get a more consistent product when it comes to your lot. So I think the whole idea of modular being, I think it's the next wave, the next generation. This is how we're going to build all of our housing. It's not just right now to get it done quickly. As we run out of skilled labor, as we have more difficult finding laborers out there, I think this is going to be the next step. And actually, I've actually been involved with some of the factories. They're actually going to do some robotics within the factory to even make it more efficient and being able to make it built even faster. So it's really exciting for me to kind of see the advancement within the factories and within the industry. And you can see the McDonald's and the Burger Kings now being built because they're not planning on having it built there and be there for 30, 40, 50 years. They're tearing it down within 10, 15 years because the design is kind of either flawed or they want to change and have a new style. So now with this, it's more affordable for them to do it, and they can get it done fast.
These products, though, are designed to last as long as a home, though, just for sure. And you have the same quality there. They go up quicker. They're more cost-effective. Certainly, our county is much more inclined to make things streamlined and go quicker, and some waivers, some fees and things like that. So I think we're going to see a lot more of this kind of stuff happening in Santa Cruz County, even more than we have up to this point. And certainly, again, the buzz right now, when I'm talking to just friends when we're at church, or I see people on the street or in my business, they are talking about ADUs, and everybody says they're gorgeous. They're just a different type of home than we've been used to. And I certainly am glad that we can talk about the particular details. What kind of questions, Todd, would you guess that might be some of the challenges that are misconceptions about ADU and, let's say, modular homes that you might like to talk about? I know people have misconceptions about a lot of stuff, but what in particular, what are the challenges that people think they should be cautious about with this that maybe aren't that big of a deal?
That's a great question, Lou. I mean, I think it goes back to the very first thing that you mentioned, is that how surprised. I mean, as far as people aren't familiar with the product, so they assume it's inferior. They assume it's lower. In some cases, some of these manufactured modular homes, they're built better than some of the top builders out there. Again, they have certain restrictions. They have actually more inspections that are done to modular homes than for stick built. They before they even leave the factory, they get inspected twice, and they have someone full-time on site to continually inspect it as it goes down the line. So I think in a lot of ways you get a lot more consistency, you get a lot more bang for your buck. But going back to your question about what are the misconceptions, I think that again that it's not as nice a product. And like I said, 95% of the people that come in, you wouldn't be able to tell it's a different than a stick-built home. In fact, some people say it's even nicer. So we get compliments all day long. So the other misconceptions, obviously, is that the type of material that we use, is it a different type of material than stick built? We use the same material. In fact, like I told you about kiln dried wood, a lot of times stick builders don't use that. Why? Because it's a lot more expensive. But again, because they're held to a higher level within the factory, they actually use better consistent material. So those are the main things. Other than that, I think the misconceptions are that they don't last, like you had said. But I've seen the product myself, being in the business for over 23 years. I've seen the product last. I've sold homes that are 1960s. They're in great condition. So the homes stack up. They last a long time. It's all about upkeep of the product and trying to keep your home nice. As long as you take good care of it, it's going to last you a lifetime.
Can you do the kinds of things that you would do in, let's say, a stick-built, like have porches and things like that? And are there any disadvantages that you can think of? It sounds like you've got a beautiful product here, and we've got the perfect timing on this for our community. They're just open for it, and you know it's happening, and it's happening quickly. Are there any disadvantages that you can think of that are real? Any challenges at all? And how would you maybe you can talk about one or two, and how would you address those challenges?
I think we talked about it briefly on accessibility. That would be the only thing to make sure that we're able to drive it up to the property. And if you're talking about a single lane road, then obviously we're going to have some difficulty there. But if it's on the lot itself, there's many ways we can handle it. Obviously, we talked about cranes. We can obviously taking down a fence. So I really can't see too many disadvantages. Hate to use the word again, disadvantages to not building a manufactured housing. I think modular homes are the wave of the future. I think that between saving the time, being able to have less people involved in the actual building process, gosh, it's tough for me to say. The only thing I can think of is maybe aesthetically it looks a little bit different on the exterior, but that can be remedied by adding stucco or whatever other type of treatments on the exterior. So there's so many other ways to remedy anything that you could think of that would be a detraction. I mean, I think it's a great product.
Excellent.